Big news over the weekend. They've published the short seller positions in the tanker stocks. And there's only one tanker stock that's under fire by short sellers. Only one. And can you guess who that is? Would you believe it's NAT, the most hyped up stock of them all? Yes, that's what it is. The short sellers have increased their short positions from 4 million a month ago to 18 million shares. Now that's equivalent to 3 days of low volume trading in the stock to be able to cover all 18 million shares short. No other tanker stock has anything close to this. No other tanker stock has been under siege by short sellers than NAT. NAT today is 50% below its high. So this gives you a sense of what's happening with this stock. The price is down because it's been under siege. So if they can maintain their profitability, the long-term holders will have their day. But let's take a look at comments from the log on Friday, and then we'll get back to talking about the stock. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to help support our effort to try to broaden knowledge on how to invest in the market, and also to alert yourself when new videos are posted. Click the subscribe button just below the video, and then you'll notice a little bell icon to the right of it. See where my mouse cursor is? You click on that and you say notifications please, and then you'll get notified every time we post an update, so you can stay abreast of what's happening in the market and learn with the rest of us on how we can integrate option trading into market insights, and by the end of the year be profitable as an investor. Okay, just a quick update on comments left from day 19 last Friday. How all these stocks are going to trade like one. Don't buy 5 different tanker stocks and think you're diversified. They're all going to trade very similar to each other. You have a very high concentration risk when you're buying different tanker stocks. Another question around what software is being used for the analysis. So this comes up quite a bit. I probably should put a link. I'm using Thinkorswim. This is a TD Ameritrade platform. And of course, TD Ameritrade was purchased by Charles Schwab. Question around if I choose to sell a vertical and the stock lands between my short and long strike, does it get assigned so that I own the underlying? It does get assigned, but there's strategies you can do to address that. I'm going to do a video on how you should think about being assigned stock or being exercised against, or what to do if a high dividend stock is at risk of being assigned. Mei Chen's asking about how to short the Hong Kong dollar. Overseas markets are really hard to trade here. There's a few ETFs you can look at. Be careful with these ETFs. She's gone into this ETF Yang. First thing you should do whenever you're exploring an ETF, go back and look at a 10-year chart and see what's happened to the price. Not over 6 months, but over a decade. Look and see whether the stock was trading around where it is today, or is it a very different price. In this particular example, this ETF Yang was trading at 4,000 in 2010. All right, so these are leveraged ETFs. They use a lot of OTC options. You do not want to own leveraged products that a professional option trader is helping leverage up, because you will never make money against those guys. That doesn't mean you can make some money short term, and if you trade them for a day, yeah, okay, it's like black or red at the roulette table. Those are the basic questions that have been raised, and let's get on, man. Today is looking pretty exciting in there. Let's talk about today, not Friday. Let's go. It feels great to be back, and let's take a quick look at our portfolio and try to get our head around what's happening with these option strategies. DHT is trading up nicely today. It's actually up 4%, and so is Frontline and EURN. They're all rallying nicely, and we're going to have to talk about a little bit what's going to happen to our different option positions in here, because we're going to experience some interesting dynamics. We sold one extra call, which has got us exposed to unlimited risk to the upside. If this stock gets above 880, 885, we're actually going to start losing money in here. So remember what I said is if this stock does well, all our other stocks will do well. So look at this, we're up $43 in there, we're up $30 here. So we're starting to see over time how incorporating some options into our strategies, selling some premium, can actually result in making money. Now, we'll see how this progresses from day to day, but look at the difference. Buying call premium, buying stock. We're actually down in the calls we bought, but look at this. We're actually making a profit in the stock we bought. But we didn't buy stock at the high. We waited for the stock to drop before we bought 100 shares of stock. You notice how we started by buying a real cheap call at the 10 strike, and here we are buying stock at 589. So imagine when we bought this call for the 10 strike, our break even was $10.40. Now our break even is $5.90. That's huge. Our break even is almost 50% lower. So we'll see how that progresses, but we got some work to do in DHT. Just buying calls and sitting on them doesn't seem to work very well unless you get an immediate rally. So this is what we're learning about calls is, boy, you got to stay small because in all likelihood, they're going to zero. So you stay small in there and then you wait for the stock to come way down. We're making money in EURN for the year. We're making money in Frontline for the year, but we're definitely at risk of losing money in Frontline. We own 4 stocks that are tankers. They're all going to move together. But here's the big news, folks. The worst performer today is NAT. It's actually trading down. Over the weekend, they published for the short interest. I checked all of the tanker stocks. They're virtually all unchanged except for one. NAT is in huge trouble. They've been under siege by short sellers. This stock is getting hammered from people making huge bets that this stock is going to go down. And that's what's happened. They've sold. They're now, originally a month ago, there were 4 million shares shorted in this. And let's go take a look at the stats from shortsqueeze.com and see what happened there. So previously, we reported a month ago that NAT had 4 million shares shorted in the stock. A month later, it has almost 19 million shares. So 15 million shares have shorted NAT in the last month. So it's safe to assume that after that stock hit 9, there were some big players that came in and shorted the stock. Okay, so this obviously has exasperated the move down in the stock price, and that would explain partially why NAT has seen the stock drop 50% from the high price. Tanker stock that is under siege from short sellers. And it's going to be these short sellers who get squeezed eventually that are going to really accelerate the next rally up. Okay, so now we looked at our portfolio. I just want to show you a relative basis of where these stocks are trading over the last 1 month. It's been almost a month since we started our log, and let's take a look at where these stocks are trading relative to a month ago. So NAT just hit a new low of 427 this morning. Okay, new low this morning on NAT when our other stocks are trading up. We are down almost 40% from a month ago, and that was 1 day before we went up to 9. Okay, so we're 50% lower on NAT. And what did we say April 29th? In all likelihood, 9 was the high because of the big volume, and you can see it here. And what did we say we wanted to do the day after? We said if you didn't get filled, if you didn't have a limit order in, you had 3 minutes up here to get filled. And what did we say on the 29th? Where are we going to buy it? Remember that day? People were asking me, what do you think NAT is going to do? Are we going to go hit 10? And what did we speculate? No one knows. I don't know. All we said was, with the high volume the day before, and the fact that we were there for only 3 minutes, suggests that we have a short-term top, that $9 would be the short-term peak, and we would trade down. And then people said, where would you buy from here? What I said was, when this stock drops 50% from 9, then I'll look to buy. And that's where we are now. Now you can start thinking about buying. But new information just came out over the weekend, which is why the stock's trading down. There's 18 million shares shorted in here since the high. Before the high, there were 4 million shares shorted. So 14 million shares have been shorted in here. Okay? So there is some serious pressure being pushed down on the stock. What does that mean longer term? In order for this stock to go up, we need to see bearish activity. The fact that there's 18 million short positions in here is a good indication that we're getting set up for an opportunity for this stock to rally big, and to rally big off the back of short covering. Now, the other thing you'll notice is what? Why is this stock trading down? The other reason it's trading down is because they just paid a dividend last week. Okay, so when they just paid a dividend of 14 cents, then Nordic needs to trade down 14 cents to reflect the money that has left the company. We don't know how many more shorts are going to come in on this stock, but longer term, we want to see a big short position in there, because it is the shorts that are going to allow this stock to move higher. And why would the stock move higher? Is because the stock will move in the direction that will inflict the most pain. NAT can do 6 million shares in a low volume day. So if there's 18 million shares outstanding, that means it would take 3 days to cover the stock if there was a short covering rally. So this is going to get interesting. We'll have to see how many more shorts come in, but I can't believe they're going to get that aggressive going forward. But for long-term investors, this is going to be a level where we can start thinking about adding to our positions or start thinking about creating a long position. So that's the big news on NAT. The only tanker stock, significantly huge short position in there. Somehow everyone was convinced they should own it. Very suspicious, but what can you do? The rest of the stocks real quick. You guys can look at each one of them. TMP is down 32%. It's the second worst performer so far today. DHT is the third worst performer, down 30% on the month. TK Tankers is next. It's down 32% on the month. DSSI is down 28%. EURN is only down 15%, and this is probably the best quality company of the group. Frontline is down 20%. Scorpio is down 32%. NNA is down only 17%. And Ardmore is only down 15%. So that's the performance over the last 1 month. You can see they're all down. They're all have a pretty high correlation, but what's interesting is that, you know, across the group, NAT is probably the worst of the companies, and they're down 37%, and EURN is probably the best, and it's only down 15%. So they're all down, but a better quality company will probably perform a bit better, but you still have to think about owning tanker stocks as the equivalent of owning one tanker stock, because the correlations are still quite high, even though some are better run than others. So that's what we've got for today. Comments, feedback down below. Think about subscribing if you want to be a part of our journey on learning how to invest in the market. Thanks.